Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We have done various examples of the ecosystem. Now, one thing which remains, which is moving is in my mind, are these systems beneficial to us? Do they render any service to the community or not? Or what are the ecosystem services, benefits to humanity, to us? So, this lecture deals with this aspect. Ecosystem concept is possible at several scales of magnitude. It ranges from a multicellular organism such as insects, animals, plants, to lakes, mountains, mountain ranges, or forest to the planet Earth as a whole. The concept of ecosystem originated since the time of Plato. It has since then gained attention in the economics and of ecology research and conservation applications. Do ecosystems serve humanity? Now this is the question, and I will try to give you the answer, and at the end you would decide whether they are useful or not useful. We recognize various ecosystems ranging from tiny water body or tiny habitat on a tree trunk or even on a leaf to large mountains, oceans, deserts, glaciated polar and alpine regions of the world. Do we receive any benefits from these ecosystems which we must protect them? We are always protecting ecosystems, but what for? Do these ecosystems provide humans any services or benefits? We always benefit from ecosystem services irrespective of our recognition, whether we recognize or not. But we do receive some obvious direct or some indirect benefits because of the ecosystem. Most of us appreciate the ecosystem services that we receive in our daily life without knowing their true value. The loss of nature affects our economy, our culture, our daily life as individuals or as a community. We must protect them. The loss of nature affects our economy, culture, daily life as individuals. Investing in nature means increase in biodiversity, ecosystems, geodiversity, landscapes above and below the water will improve the quality of these services as well as securing them for various generations. European Union is mapping its ecosystem and their services. They are mapping it so that it comes in a written form, in a map form, on a larger scale. European Union is evaluating their ecosystem and services in order to support better decisions on complex environmental issues like biodiversity, water availability, agriculture, forests, regional planning, with the aim to provide reliable data for better planning and implementation of the positive projects. So we list services in order to support our life directly or indirectly. The term ecosystem services is relatively new term. The previous would be what are the benefits? What are the uses of the ecosystem? This is a relatively newer term, that what services are rendered by ecosystem to the humanity, to the community, to the area, to the soil, to the nature. It was first used to establish the importance of nature, to bring attention to environmental degradation. The estimates in 2011 suggest that ecosystem provides services equivalent to 125 trillion per year. Every year, whatever various kinds of ecosystem services are there, they amount to 125 trillion per year. This was calculated, assessed by the European Union in 2011. The concern regarding the true worth of nature is worrying compared to degradation of the ecosystem. Various definitions are available for the ecosystem or for the ecosystem services. Ecosystem services are defined as the direct or indirect contribution of ecosystem to human well-being that have an impact on our survival and quality of life. Ecosystem services are also known as environmental services. All those benefits that an ecosystem provides to society that affect the health, quality of life, economic development of the people who make it up. The progress and survival of any society depends on its valuable nature resources. The ecosystem helps in the health, well-being, and the economic development of the communities by providing the necessary resources for human life, supplying us with raw material or offering us cultural or leisure services, enjoyment. The human life support system depends on the conservation of ecosystem priorities, services priorities. According to Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, ecosystem services are defined as the benefits people obtain from ecosystem. They are split into four categories, major groups: provisioning, supporting, regulating, and cultural services. So these four groups of services are there: provisioning services, supporting services, regulating services, and cultural services. These are highly beneficial in a variety of ways. Each group of these services, they are beneficial in various varieties in different ways to different communities depending upon the severity, management, availability of the ecosystem components. The international community is monitoring and monetizing these services and advocating for environmental sustainability. According to FAO, ecosystem services worth 125 trillion US dollar make human life possible by providing nutritious food. This is one aspect. Clean water, another aspect. Regulating diseases and climate, another aspect. Supporting the pollination of the crops, another aspect. Soil formation, providing recreational, cultural, spiritual benefits. Ecosystem services, as we said, this has been divided into four major groups. Provisioning services. Provisioning services mean food production, water, wood and fiber, and fuel. Then comes the regulating services. This means climate change, climate regulation, flood regulation, water purification, water management, availability. Third is the cultural services. Cultural services means spiritual, mazhabi, aesthetic, educational, recreational, even research could come under this category. And then is the supporting services. Those services which support our life. That is nutrient cycling, soil formation, primary production, habitat provision. So within each group, 4 or 5 different subgroups are there which have been identified as a group of services by the ecosystem. These four type of services, again, food, fuel wood, food, fuel wood, fiber, timber, provisioning, good produced or provided by the ecosystem. Regulating services means benefits from the regulation of ecosystem processes, water partnership, water availability, pest regulation, climate regulation, pollination. Cultural services means spiritual recreation, aesthetic, educational, and finally the support services factors necessary for producing ecosystem services, hydrological cycle, nutrient cycling, soil formation, primary productions. These are the subtitles within this group. Provisioning services. Provisioning services include the ability of humans to obtain products from ecosystems, that is, such as food, water, resources, including different kinds of wood like timber wood, furniture wood, building wood, oil like palm oil, pine oil, gums like gum of acacia, genetic resources, and various medicines from medicinal plants and renewable fuels. These are all provisions which the ecosystem provides. आप देखें कि wherever forests have been removed, degradation has occurred. So wood is not available, fuel is not available, soil formation is disturbed, medicinal plants are gone. So we must manage them. Regulating services. These services include any benefits obtained from the natural process or functioning of ecosystem. For example, regulation of climate change, improving climate change, resisting climate change, management of the floods. Floods cause damages to the soil, to the buildings, to the area. So, management of the floods, other natural hazards like earthquakes, pollination. This is one of the hidden activity which we don't expect, but pollination is there. Regulating services. If pollination was not there, food formation would not be there. Water purification and many more such services. The purification services of natural water in Europe are estimated to the tune of 33 billion euro per year. Further, pollination by wind, insect is a service that would not be possible without nature. So we must regulate it, we must protect it. Regulating services is the benefit provided by ecosystem processes that moderate natural phenomena. This means moderation of the natural phenomena help the ecosystem so that these services can be regulated. Ecosystems provide many of the benefit services, basic services that make life possible for the people, for the community, for the area. Plants, clean air. If the management is good, to establish a forest, to establish the forest peace, so there would be a purification of the air. There would be purification of the dust particles in a floating air. Filter water, bacterial decomposed waste, pollination by bees, tree roots hold soil in place preventing erosion. So good number of trees, better healthy trees, they hold soil, they reduce erosion, they reduce activity of the wind in the form of the shelter belts, in the form of the windbreaks. All these processes work together, making ecosystem clean, sustainable, functional, and resilient to change. Regulating services include, again I'm repeating, pollination, decomposition, water purification, erosion, flood control, carbon storage, and climate regulation. Cultural, social culture. Non-material benefits that obtain from the ecosystems are termed as cultural services. These include spiritual enrichment, intellectual development, recreation, and aesthetic values. Such services are hard to monitor and value compared to the regulating and provisioning services, but research in this area is emerging. Definitely, we cannot quantify the services, the cultural services, but they do happen, and it needs further assessment. Look into the matter, how much amount, how much uh, service is paid under this heading by the ecosystem. Cultural services show that many studies reveal that an interaction with the nature through hospital windows or hospital gardens speed up health recovery patients. You might have seen that some of the doctors, psychologists, professional experts, they advise the patients to walk in a forest, to walk along the river beach, to settle there, to make a community there, to make a hub there. Similarly, you would enjoy if you have windows in your home, windows in the hospital. If you can see greenery through the window from your room, you feel happy. This is cultural services. The interaction and alteration of nature in turn alters us. This type of interactions, when we go out to a field, when we go out to crop area, when we go out to a hilly area for a walk, for a stay, for hunting, or for collection of plants, for collection of flowers, collection of sometimes butterflies, some people like, that improves our health. This has constantly guided our cultural, intellectual, social development in our lives. Importance of ecosystem to the human mind is traceable to the beginning of the mankind with ancient civilization, drawing of pictures, animals, plants, weather pattern on cave walls. We can see paintings of the ancient Ashoka era, Gandhara area. Different paintings are there carved in the stone wall of the plants, of the animals, or some activity is going on. So all this is cultural services. One goes into the past when he sees those animal plants which are not present now. That gives an idea that they were there. A cultural service is a non-material benefit contributing to the development and cultural advancement of people, including how ecosystems play a role in local nation and global nations. Knowledge, building, creativity, born from interaction with the nature, music or architecture, and recreation. These are our cultural aspect of the community. Now, fourth category is the supporting services. Those services which support our life. Support services are related to the habitat functioning. They provide, they influence our survival. They influence, they improve our happiness. They improve our relationships with the earth, with the environment, with each other, among the nation, among the communities. For example, photosynthesis, the water cycle, nutrient cycles are bases of ecosystem, which in turn allow us to support ourselves. Such ecosystem services go down to the genetic level, such as the maintenance of viable species gene pool. This is all supporting services. Ecosystems themselves cannot be sustained without the consistency of underlying natural process like nutrient cycling, creation of soil, weathering of rocks into soil, formation of soil, or water cycle. These processes allow the earth to sustain basic life forms and people. Without supporting services, provisional regulating cultural services might have not existed. So supporting services are required or needed for the provisional, for the regulating and cultural services. Thank you very much. कम नफस हाँ यो स्लाइड दोबारा हुआ है आखिरी बस أنا يوم اللي باس راشي बस ده आखिरी हो تدي क्यों قلت كم زي بقول رأيك आखिर देखे खुदा से पता नहीं लगी हाँ खजाना फिर पता लगी फिर दे रखूँ बस ताकि आखिरी भी होगा ده आखिरी करा आखिरी स्लाइड Ecosystems themselves cannot be sustained without the consistency of underlying natural processes like nutrient cycling, creation of soil, weathering of soil, formation of soil, weathering of rocks, preventing erosion, water cycle, and regulating the management of the water, management of the forest. These processes allow the earth to sustain basic life forms and people without supporting services. If supporting services are not available, then provisional regulating cultural service cannot be done. Thank you. Till this point, we will continue it in a part 2. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? You can ask me on a Facebook or through email given. I have given some references here. This lecture has been extracted from these 4 or 5 publications. So please help yourself. Thank you.